All right, what's up, everyone? This is a new episode of Sports Anarchy, and I am here hosting as normal, Matty Lukewarm Ice, and my co-host, special guest for this special edition of Sports Anarchy is the adopted one, John.
Yeah.
Names Frags, which he goes by for
Yep.
his handle for all the people that follow him. He does a lot of gaming streaming, so if you want to catch him out, you can look him up. Names Frags for his video game, but
What's good? What's good?
he's a sports guy as well. So are you excited to get outside of the norm of video games and talk some sports this time?
Yeah, a little bit until we entered into the talks of baseball because I haven't watched baseball since I was like 10 years old. But we'll see how it goes. It's one of those sports, just like basketball. Like I keep track of like how the playoffs are going, who's doing what. Not really, more so. Let's watch the whole season kind of thing. I mean, baseball's long. I don't really know how most people sit there and watch almost every game possible. I mean, I guess you'd get your money's worth if you get tickets for season, I guess, because there's like 160 games or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's true. I've always said that baseball and basketball are the two longest like sports seasons that aren't needed because like by the time you get to like the All-Star break for basketball or the All-Star game for baseball, the teams are already kind of solidified of like who's going to do what. So I don't feel like they need to have as many games as they do, but those sports
Plus,
like to
like,
make their money, you know?
plus, I think like the downside to that is like, yeah, football is more physical, but you also have this scenario where you're playing such long seasons that your star players by the time playoffs come, it's just whoever is healthier at this point. I mean, you could argue the same for football, but I mean, 160 games, you could probably hurt yourself in the first game of the season and then be back by the time your team goes to playoffs.
That is true.
Depending on how hurt you are.
That's
Yeah.
true. Factual. So we'll start off with baseball playoffs. So yesterday was game one for the second round of the baseball playoffs. So the Cubs are playing the Brewers. The Cubs lost 3-9. So the Brewers are up in that series 1-0. The Blue Jays spanked the Yankees 10-1 in the division rivalry game. So they're up 1-0. The Dodgers come back from behind and beat the Phillies 5-3. The Phillies
Oh
were
wow.
the Phillies were leading 3-0. I was at B Dubs watching most of that game, and they were just dominating like the whole time. And then they came back in like the sixth, and then like the eighth inning, they scored their runs to be able to come back and win. So
Yeah, that's a team that I could never. You could probably never write off based off of the caliber of players and or their just batting cage in general. Like somebody's bound to do something.
right, exactly. And their pitching, I mean, they have two of the best pitchers in baseball with Kershaw and Otani. So, and Otani was pitching that game, and he let the first three runs happen, I think, in the first inning, and then after that, he closed them out like the rest of the time. Like he was locked in after that.
Yeah.
So, um, then the Tigers and the Mariners. Tigers barely held on to win the division at the end of the year, and they go and beat the Mariners 3-2 in 11 innings. So they had to go extra innings for that one. So the Mariners
Oh
are
wow.
up 1-0. And then today the games continued. The Blue Jays are playing right now. The Yankees. It's the top of the seventh. Blue Jays are winning 13-7. So they are putting it on the Yankees again. So it looks like they're probably going to go up 2-0 in this series. I believe they hit two grand slams in this game, from what I saw. Um, so Blue Jays winning the division. I thought it would be closer, to be honest, because the Yankees and the Blue Jays are in the same division, and rivalry games are always closer. But they just, as of right now, been putting it on the Yankees. Um, and then the Tigers and the Mariners are going to play later tonight at 8:03. um, for
Yep.
game two.
Would you consider would you consider the Tiger win over the Mariners in game one to be an upset?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like the Mariners, they were the surprise team this year. They won the division over the Astros. Like they beat the Astros and knocked them out of the playoffs for the first time in like 13 years or some crazy stat like that. Like the Astros have always gone to the playoffs.
Weren't they yeah, weren't they the don't they have a guy on their team that has 60 home runs as well this
Yep,
past season?
yep. This season, yeah, the catcher for the Mariners, yeah,
Well, yeah.
he hit 60 home runs. Yep. First time a catcher, I'm pretty sure, has done it. So he's kind of setting the precedent for him. Um, that's Chris's team, so I'm rooting for him. Um, in a weird way, I guess I'm rooting for the Blue Jays because I hate the Yankees more, but I hate the Blue Jays just as much. So if the Blue Jays make it out, I'm definitely not rooting for them. I would like to see the Cubs win because they're kind of underdogs. But I feel like it's kind of the Dodgers' title to lose. They literally have the most like all stars on their team. Like they should not lose. But they had the MLB the Show video game like simulated the playoffs, and
Yeah.
they had the Yankees winning it. So um, I I don't see that
I
happening
mean,
right now, but
the the Blue Jays batting cage is just crazy right now. Like just just from like a outer perspective of somebody that doesn't really watch too much baseball as of lately, but like to even to even have over, I would say, 6 runs in a baseball game is rather impressive.
oh yeah,
Let alone you're playing against some of the best that are like in your sport at the moment, anyways. But for them to have double digit runs in both games, I mean, you could see the Yankees batting cage has like woken up some, or maybe it's just the way the pitching is for the Blue Jays. But I mean, to have 23 runs in 2 games and you still got 2 innings left is pretty ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie.
so now it's just about momentum and how much they can keep that up throughout the playoffs. Um, so yeah, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Like when it comes to the World Series, obviously we'll still cover it, but we're gonna keep an eye on the playoffs. Um, Next thing that we'll move on to that was big over the weekend was college football. A lot of major upsets over the weekend. Um, the top teams kind of still kept their footing. Ohio State blew out Minnesota. Miami ends up beating Florida State in the rivalry game, 28-22. Um, Oklahoma blew out Kent State. The major news was number 7 Penn State losing to unranked UCLA, 37-42, which everyone online basically is saying about the head coach. They were just like, you know what? They were talking about how Penn State's head coach can never beat anyone like in the big games. So he wanted to prove everyone wrong and show them that he could also lose to someone that's not in a big game. I was just like, oh
I'm
my
pretty.
gosh.
I seen that too. I seen that. I'm pretty sure the guy that was doing the play calls. I don't even know if he's like their main coach for the UCLA, but he was doing a different role for that team, and in this game in particular, he took on the role to play call for the team and managed to win as well, which I thought was pretty crazy. Um, I just brought out the rank sheet now because I haven't actually looked at it since. But you have Penn State, a team that was what top 3, top 4 guarantee last year, if I'm not mistaken. They started out pretty high, they fell to 7th, and now they're not even ranked anymore, which is pretty absurd. Same thing with Texas. Texas isn't
Hmm.
even ranked anymore. as well. Um,
Yeah, Texas, number 9, Texas loses to unranked Florida, 21-29. Someone posted online about Arch Manning, basically saying he went from the number 1 overall prospect in the NFL to now like working at a grocery store or something like that. Someone said, and I was just like,
I
damn.
seen I seen a TikTok where somebody like skidded Arch Manning in his uniform for Texas, and he's like behind the counter of McDonald's, and he's just like flipping burgers and like putting them in the bag and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh. That's terrible. I think he still has time. Like if he
Yeah.
plays again next year, I think it could do him some good. But that's crazy how
I mean,
quickly your future can change with 2 losses. Like,
mhm. I seen a thing before we actually got on here. It was about how like all Texas fans gave Ewers the um, like basically you suck and you're like we want Manning and this and that, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden here you have Manning now, and then they're not even a ranked team anymore. They probably won't even make it to playoffs. I don't even know if they have anybody strong in their schedule remaining um, to maybe make it back in to the ranks. Um, it's crazy because, like you said, he was at one point the top prospect. You can argue the quarterback for I think what was it Tennessee was before he transferred, and then of course you have Carson, who is on Miami, Florida now, which is their ranked 2 team in the nation, which is pretty absurd as well.
I was gonna say, so based off of all these upsets, if we look at the rankings now that came out today, Ohio State stays number 1. Miami goes up to number 2, which I don't really agree with, but they obviously I don't have a say or a vote. Oregon's at number 3. They dropped down 1 spot from number 2. I feel like Oregon should have stayed at number 2, but Ole Miss stays at number 4, which I think is good. Number 5 is Texas A&M. Number 6 is Oklahoma, which Oklahoma, from what we talked about last night, is going to have a ridiculously hard schedule for the rest of the year to be able to stay ranked that high. Um, I feel like if they lose one, they won't drop out of the playoffs, but it's definitely going to make it hard for them, depending how late of in the season they have the loss. Um,
Mm, yeah,
Indiana
I think if
University,
Texas,
yeah,
sorry, I was gonna say I think if Texas was to upset Oklahoma, they'd fall pretty hard.
yeah,
Now that Texas isn't a ranked team anymore, they play Texas next week, and then they got South Carolina. Then they have ranked 4 Ole Miss. Then they got Tennessee ranked 12 and Alabama ranked 8. I am, and then they got Missouri 14 and LSU. I think if they lost to say Ole Miss, I don't think it's enough to like kick them out of the playoffs. But I would be very weary if I was them to play Texas next week, just because they're not ranked anymore. They looked really really poor
yeah.
the last couple weeks. But,
Yeah, I agree. If they lose to that, then yeah, that's gonna kind of squash their hopes. Indiana University kind of flying under the radar at 7. Like, this is kind of wild. Like, they came
yeah,
out of nowhere, but no one's really talking
I
about
think
them.
I think what they finished last year, they finished ranked 10 as well. So I mean, I think for them to break into the top 10, it's very interesting. Um, they've played Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. The only ranked team that they've played so far is Illinois. Um, and they beat them 63 to 10.
Jeez.
So
Stomped them.
they yeah, they play Oregon in 2 weeks, so I guess that'll be their first real testament to see if they maintain. I mean, they have a pretty easy schedule leading into the rest of the season for them. I mean, they do play UCLA, so who knows? Maybe they just go crazy and upset another ranked team. Um, they do have Penn State 3 games towards the end of the season, which wouldn't surprise me if they managed to find a way to lose that game. But again, I mean, there's a lot of teams that aren't ranked. I feel that a lot of teams shouldn't sleep on. For instance, like Louisville, Florida. You had a couple other teams early on that weren't ranked that are now ranked that I feel like people didn't take seriously.
Right.
So who knows if they'll stay true to the top 10. I'd say I could see them falling into the later teens maybe, depending on who they lose to. If they lost to Oregon, I could see them falling back a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, and then number 8 is Alabama, which I think that's a little high for them, to be honest. But it's Alabama, so they're always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Number 9 is Texas Tech. Number 10 is Georgia. Number 11 is LSU, which I'm surprised they're still, in the mix. And then number 12 is Tennessee. And then number 13 is Georgia Tech, who is like 5-0. And some of these 5-0 teams, I'm just like, why aren't they getting more love? There's some like 4-1 teams, that are ranked higher than them.
Well, in regards to that, from what I can see, Georgia hasn't played anybody except Clemson. I mean, you could argue Colorado, based on their previous year's rank, or where they were as a team. Clearly, they lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, Georgia Tech has only played Clemson. So at this point, they're where they are based on their season of being undefeated. They haven't played a ranked opponent, and at the end of the year, Clemson might have been ranked when they did play, but at the end of the year, the only team that they play so far that, according to the schedule, that's ranked is just Georgia. So
I feel like the rankings are going to get mixed up more. Like, it used to be where the rankings kind of just stayed the same, throughout the year. Like, the top teams would just always win. But now I feel like upsets are more prominent, They happen more often.
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm surprised that Notre Dame is ranked 16 with 2 losses right now. If I'm going to be honest. Like, they are higher than a 5-0 BYU.
Yeah. I mean, again, sometimes
Memphis
your name
is 6-0.
Sometimes your name is what helps, And they were in the national championship last year, so sometimes that bails people out when it comes to the rankings, I feel like. Like that one year, I can't remember what year it was, Alabama had lost 2 games. That was back when they only had the 4-team playoff. And Alabama still got in somehow over another team that was like undefeated or something like that. And it was just like, how did Alabama get in?
Isn't that because they beat Georgia, you said?
I think they beat Georgia in the championship game, like the SEC championship game. I think Alabama won, but they still had 2 losses,
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair, Notre Dame's 2 losses. One is Miami in the beginning of the season by 3 points, and then Texas A&M, which is now ranked 5, they lost 41-40. So it's not like they got blown out or any of that nature. So I mean, they're still playing good football against top-ranked teams. So I can, I guess, see that's why they might be higher than a team like BYU.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, like I said, I feel like we're going to see a lot more change before it's the end of the year. Other than maybe like Ohio State, they'll probably stay number 1. But depending, I guess, with the Michigan game, because somehow they always seem to lose to Michigan the past couple of years.
I don't foresee Miami losing number 2 unless they find a way to lose to Louisville next week, because they have a very, very easy schedule leading out to the rest of the season. I mean, the only real household name that they got up there is Syracuse, so they're not really all that good this year. So,
all right.
I could see them staying as ranks 1 and 2 would probably maintain.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's get into the NFL season. We won't be doing our picks of the week just because it's Sunday and so all the games have been going on. I mean, we could go over the picks that I did pick because we do them on the Yahoo Pick'em. But I think it'll be better just to go over how the games have been today and the ones that are still going on. So covering the games that have already happened. Thursday night football, everyone's going to give me grief because of my Rams losing to the 49ers. I'll give, the 49ers credit. They usually have our number during the regular season. Kyle Shanahan just knows what he's doing against us. And our defense just didn't step up. Like our offense, scored 23 points. Yes, Kyron Williams had the fumble at the goal line, which would have won us the game. But we had an extra point blocked, and then defense was just letting all the passes in the middle just happen all the time. We bolstered our run defense, which is good, but then now that Witherspoon went down with his injury a couple games ago, our passing defense has just dropped like immensely. So I feel like if we want to make a push and we want to be able to go to the playoffs by the time the trade deadline comes up, we're going to need to find a good corner to trade for and bring in, so that way we can bolster our pass game. But
well, I can certainly tell you that until you have to play your divisional opponents again, your schedule looks pretty decent. I mean, you play a very banged up Ravens next week. You have Jaguars, which I think have played really good football so far, at least against 49ers the previous week. But they also played a very banged up 49ers.
Yeah.
So it's wishy-washy to tell how good Jacksonville actually is. So I think, me personally, you guys should run away with that with flying colors. You guys then play the Saints, and then you have a probably more healthy 49ers than they currently are. I mean, they get a couple of people back, I think, way before then, because that's like almost 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
So
I after losing,
I would have to agree, though, for sure.
After losing, I just don't have high hopes for the Rams now. Like I had such high aspirations for them as a fan, but losing to a banged up 49ers, especially with not being able to convert a 4th and 1 when Mac Jones, who was on like crutches basically, was able to convert 4th and 1 like 3 times, like just by doing a QB sneak. But yeah, we can't do it when we run with Kyron Williams. I don't have high hopes anymore, but that's just me as a fan. Hopefully, Robbie at work was telling me the other day, he was like, "It's one game, calm down, it'll be fine." I was just like, no, it's not, Robbie. It's over. It's done. We're cooked. But
I mean,
we'll see.
So you got what? So at this point, by just gandering at your schedule off the opponents and where your team stands, I think from the last games, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games left. I would say you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of those matches, I feel, should be swayed in your way. I mean, 2 of those I'm giving you Cardinals, so that's 2 divisions already on top of that 7. And the games that I'd be weary about is both the last remaining 49ers,
Yeah.
the Lions game, and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, I think Bucks are heavily under the radar. I mean, I think they go pound for pound in terms of scoring almost any team. It doesn't matter who they are. So
Yeah.
it could just come out to a shootout like today's game where, they're playing the Seahawks right now and it's just back and forth scoring.
Well, it's over. Bucks win 38-35. Just finished up.
That's amazing for you guys. Except it's not a divisional. But...
So yeah, that was a shootout, yeah, and Bucks end up on top for that one. Some of the games that stood out: the Colts blow out the Raiders 40-6. Sorry, Chris, about your Raiders. It's not a fun game to watch right there, dude.
Yeah. Oh man.
Then the Cowboys win 37-22. Texans blow out the Ravens, which surprised me. Yes, they didn't have Lamar, but Texans win 44-10. Like that's just ugly.
Yeah.
And
I don't even. Let's see. Based off of team statistics here, I mean, the Texans managed to get 3 interceptions, and they also had the ball for 13 more minutes of this game, which as a team that was they both were 1-3 at the time, but I myself, I wouldn't see the Houston Texans coming out dropping 40, maybe like 20 something on the Ravens, considering they're very banged up as well. I mean, they're missing their star linebacker, they're missing their quarterback, they're missing a lot of big leaders on this team. And it's sad. It's really sad to see, considering they're one of the titans of the AFC. Even if, they don't really excel in the playoffs, for them to get beat up like that is kind of ridiculous a little bit.
right.
Even Henry didn't even have a good day, I don't think.
No, he didn't. Yeah, and I think the Ravens are kind of just calling it. To be honest, I feel like they think their season's done already because of their record. It's hard to come back and make the playoffs after having that kind of record. So I think they're kind of just honing it in.
I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not out, but there's a chance that they could get a wild card spot if they were to lock in some games. But they're still missing Lamar for at least 4 more, and they're already 1-4. So, I mean, before this game today, they were like the first team with over 100 points scoring and to be 1-3 or 1-2 or something like that, which is also unheard of because those teams that have had those points until this year are all winning records.
Yeah. No, I agree. So it's going to take a lot of it's going to be a big miracle for them to be able to make the playoffs. Like you said, they got to win some big games.
Mm-hmm.
A big upset was the Broncos beating the Eagles 21-17 after being down by 18 going into the third quarter. I'm not going to say that I'm not hacky about that because that's awesome. I've been waiting for the Eagles to finally take an L. Finally.
Me as well, a little bit, because it's something about Philly. I like some players on Philly, but it's just something about them that, it doesn't seem like it's football. It's weird, because why do you have such star players on your team, but none of them see the ball? Right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I understand, you do what you need to do or I will give it to Hurts over the course of his first few seasons before he even made his debut to the Super Bowl the first time. He had an issue with turning the ball over. which we've seen it with numerous receivers. Like, we'll use Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs as an example. Josh Allen turned the ball over significantly more when Diggs was there versus now. Not saying that AJ or Devontae are issues, but it having those big household names on your team alone pulls a lot away from other aspects of your team, which I get he uses accordingly. The scheme works, they win games, but do I think they're as good as they were last year? Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know how big of a deal it is or not, but the media is definitely blowing up about like AJ Brown not being happy being there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, who knows how real that is? That could just be the media just trying to be the media. But if that's the case, like
Yeah.
we could see him going to another team maybe. Like maybe they trade him away because he's
Yeah,
not
make the
happy.
Rams.
The Rams don't need him. We don't need him. Like would I love to have him?
Yeah.
Yes, but like he would be just as unhappy not seeing the ball there because Puka and Devontae would be getting it more than him. Um,
That's valid.
but I could
But
see him going to some other
I
team.
have mhm. I have a thing here that shows the timestamp I had sent you a little bit ago. Um, Denver was they only had 3 points in the start of the fourth. It was 13 minutes, 16 seconds left in the fourth, and it was 3-17, and they managed to swoop back, have some big stops. I'm assuming I didn't really get the chance to watch the game. Um, to end up 21-17. Now, am I surprised that Denver managed to close this one out? No, because they have one of the best defenses in the NFL, despite their record or how well their offense is.
Yeah, I mean, I was predicting that the Broncos could take this from them for sure. If we would have done our picks, that probably would have been my upset pick, to be honest. But we weren't able to do that, so we couldn't go over that. Some other games that are still going on right now. It's about 2 minutes left at the Titans Cardinals game. Titans trying to make a comeback. They're up. They're down. I mean, 19-21. Um, Cardinals running back DeMarc Demarcado. I am probably not saying that right. Rushed the ball for over 70 yards and then dropped the ball before the goal line.
That happened?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh my
another player
goodness.
dropping the ball before crossing the goal line.
What? What is going on? I understand the adrenaline and the excitement of. I mean, I will never be in that situation where I just run all these yards and I'm in the pros making all this money, or in the moment. I understand. Like, you probably have like skyrocketing emotions, but man, what is up this year? Last week we seen it with the Colts. This week we got it with the Cardinals. I know it was an issue with a couple teams, I think last year as well. Like, these are big pinnacle moments that will sway your day, your
Oh
actual
yeah.
like season, and we are dropping the ball before the end zone. Like, it's
Crazy.
ridiculous.
It's crazy. And all the blocked kicks this year, for field goals, like no field goals are
Yep.
like ever guaranteed anymore. It's been wild. It's been a wild season. We're only in week 5, and it's been a crazy season already. Um, Commanders are trying to hold on. They're up 20-10 with about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Lions are beating on the Bengals 35-17 with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Um, and then Monday Night Football will be the Chiefs and the Jags, which actually could be a really good game
Um,
when it comes to Mahomes and them getting their momentum back with getting Xavier Worthy last week. So the Chiefs, if they want a chance, they're going to have to win because the Broncos have been winning. The only team that's really not a factor is the Raiders right now, unfortunately. Sorry again, Chris. The Raiders seem to be the only
Well,
team that's not really giving them any issues. So, like the Chargers, I mean, if the Chargers lose, then this is going to help them out a lot. If the Commanders are able to hold on, the Chargers will be three and
I mean,
two. Denver will be 3-2, and then if the Chiefs win, they'll be 3-2. So all of them will be tied for first place in the division.
yeah, I think with this game in particular for the Chargers Washington game, I would rate this as an upset for Washington in terms of them winning. With Daniels coming off injuries for 2 weeks, Chargers they're having a really big problem with their O line at the moment. I mean, they got a couple guys banged up. They've played on the field 10 minutes longer than Washington, and they are down by 10 points. They have a lost fumble, lost interception. They got 10 penalties on the day. I got to catch a glimpse of it before we started this earlier, and they had gotten 2 first downs, and both of them were yanked back by penalties. And for a team that we were talking about being a potential candidate for a deep playoff run, these issues cannot be happening.
Right, right.
And we've seen it time and time again with Kansas City. They might come out really slow or looking very bad, but for whatever reason, they have a switch that once it's flipped and things are starting to move, it's over. And I hate to say that because, I'm not saying I'm a hater of seeing the same people in the same, status for all these years, but you can't count them out regardless of how bad they're doing. And for the Chargers, it's like, is this a honeymoon phase for them to being so good? Or, what's going on? But for 2 weeks now, they've had a really bad problem with turning the ball over and penalties for sure.
Yeah. And I just got an update where Cam Ward for the Titans threw a pick to the Cardinals. The Cardinals defenders started to run, fumbled the ball, and then another Cardinals player went to go pick it up and hit it into the end zone when he tried to pick it up, and then a Titans player fell on it and got a touchdown.
No way.
So it went from Cam Ward throwing a pick to being fumbled to then it bouncing into the end zone to one of the Titans players falling on it and scoring a touchdown.
Why wouldn't... Was the interception in the end zone?
Just before. It was on the 5-yard line.
Oh. I mean, I understand the purpose of trying to run it further, but man.
So I will.
This is another topic we talked about.
Yeah.
Is fumbling the ball. There's been so many fumbles this year.
I just sent you the highlight.
Even with star running backs.
Yeah, I just sent you the highlight. If you're able to watch it, that's crazy. It's like you can end a game. The game is over with that pick, and then you just let the Tennessee Titans still stay in it. The Titans are first and goal right now with 19 seconds left. This is for the game. This is crazy. So the Titans maybe might have an upset here.
Yeah, because he wasn't down before he got touched by the guy didn't touch him before he fumbled the ball, so it was a clean fumble. This is crazy.
What is going on right now? And so the Titans might get their first W right now. There's 16 seconds left. Second and goal. Man, I kind of want to see how this plays out before we go into our top 5, bottom 5, because Tennessee might finally get their first W in the win column. The season has been crazy.
Third and goal. They lost 2 yards.
So it's are they going to be able to hold on to it.
I mean, this is. Oh my goodness. Look, listen to this stat. So I brought it up just to see how the turnovers are pairing for the teams here. And the Cardinals have lost 3 fumbles today. 3.
Oh, jeez.
And they've managed to get a fumble and an interception of their own. They could have just had 2, but even then, it's I feel like it's just an ongoing issue where nobody's either people are getting really good at punching the ball out or
So Tennessee's going for the field goal to win. So this is like a chip shot. This is like shorter than like an extra point. So 3 seconds left, like literally 29-yard attempt.
this would be the 3rd week in a row they would lose to a field goal.
The Cardinals?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And in the last minute of the game.
Oh, he barely made it. Barely made it. The Titans win. Live update right now. Titans beat them 22-21.
That's crazy.
He let him come back and win. Oh, Kyler Murray on the bench looks like so pissed. So pissed. Cam Ward gets his first dub. He finally gets his first dub.
I think I'm gonna. Well, it's crazy because even with the interception, fumble recover, and the points allowed, I had the Cardinals defense in 2 of the leagues today. They had double digit. It was 13 or 14 points, and for them to just lose is actually crazy.
And it looks like the Commanders just solidified the win with a touchdown to Debo. So they pretty much have locked the win in against the Chargers. So that's wild. So now, like I said, if the Chiefs win, everyone's going to be tied at 3-2 in the division, other than the Raiders. It'll be the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos all at 3-2. You can't count out Mahomes, man. He always seems to find a way.
I mean, plus his receiving core was all banged up or suspended, obviously. So he was missing a couple guys. I feel like we knew coming into the season that the receiving core was going to be another big question. Is if what is actually going to occur with them and how productive they were going to be. I mean, Kelsey was struggling in the beginning of the year. Worthy with his injury. You had Rice coming off injury, but he's still, he's suspended. You have, I think was it Brown that may have been injured or something. So I just think the big question is their run game. I don't think they've done much running in terms of having success this year.
Oh no, they haven't. It's mostly been
all
Mahomes.
just on the legs of Patrick.
Yeah, it's mostly been Mahomes. Alrighty, well, cool. So we'll wrap things up by doing our shout-outs. We'll get into our comments, and then we'll do our top 5, bottom 5 to end things. So comments on YouTube. One of our videos, it was Chris's top 5, got 1,400 views, which we always like. Comments on here that we got. Jonathan Rabble 2831. He said, "Oof, Chargers," which I guess he is kind of correct now that the Chargers lost today. I don't think he predicted that was going to happen because this comment is 7 days old. But
yeah.
And then I have Moses Hernandez, IG6BY. He says, Lions number 5. Come on, Lions should be higher, way higher. So, not liking putting the Lions at number 5. He thinks that they should be higher, which, I don't know. I think he might be right after we go over our top 5, bottom 5 today. That was off of YouTube. TikTok, we had a lot of good comments. Let me pull up our TikTok page here. Um, let's see. On the top five, bottom five on TikTok, we had Frags say solid picks as his comment. And then
Yeah.
Robbie, who I work with, he posted his most recent top five, which was literally like 2 nights ago, so it's pretty recent. He said my current top five would be the Chiefs at number five, Bucks at number four, Lions at number three, Eagles number two, Bills number one. Which again could be pretty accurate if the Chiefs end up winning. Um, I think you maybe have to start putting them in the top five. But Lions he put up higher, which I think is probably pretty accurate. Um, let's see. I don't think we had. Oh, um, let's see. Oh no, that one was the Tush Push one. That was an old video. Um,
Hey, Matt.
yeah.
So, Jamar Chase has 6 receptions for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, it's all garbage points. They were getting blown out. Like, I'm not surprised. Like,
It's 37-24 right now.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the Lions had the ball. I think they were just running the clock out.
Yeah, they just got a safety on Cincinnati.
So we did. Let's see. We did talk about the Bills if they were pretenders or contenders. Um, you commented on that one. You said to be fair, they looked rough to the Dolphins due to a division game. And then Brett said fouled off that lob. I was like, I don't know why you would say that because I said in the video that I was gonna do an easy one, a lob, which was the Bills. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know why Brett says the Bills wouldn't be a lob. I mean, they are still the only undefeated team, depending on if they lose to the Patriots tonight or not.
Well, I mean, they've played a very good Bucks team. Well, that was preseason, so they played a very good Ravens team, healthy team, the first opener. So it was 40-41, which I expected it to be close due to the fact that they were Titans of the AFC, and then they played, the Jets, the Dolphins, Saints. Today they play Patriots. Then they play Falcons, Panthers. So not until they play the Chiefs would I consider them to be like, if they snag that game, which normally the Bills do win in regular season over the Chiefs,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say they're the real deal until they play another like really good opponent. I mean, do I think they look the most dominant? Offensively, I would say they look very, very in tune with each other versus like, I mean, I'd put them up there with, as good as, the Bucks offense. I think the Bucks have one of the better offenses in the NFL at the moment as well. But, it just comes down to their defense being able to step up and, create opportunities for their offense. I mean, in that Dolphins game, it was really rough until like their second half. Their second half was really slow. It was all ran by Miami, and they were having issues moving the ball. So if a team can get it to where they can't really move the ball for numerous times, like we'll use Philly as an example. They're a team that loves to chew up the clock.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna struggle against a team that is oriented around burning clock. So that's my worry for them, is coming into a point where if the defense can't make up for the lack of production from the offense for that team, then it's going to be scary.
I like it. And then the last comment I have here on TikTok, Robbie wanted me to give him his flowers because he predicted that the Giants would upset the Chargers. He said, Giants win 23-17. That's my hot take. All right. Congrats, Robbie. You were correct. The Giants upset the Chargers and ended up beating them. And it was pretty close to the score that you said as well. So pretty accurate hot take.
Yeah, that's true.
So Robbie wanted his flowers, so I will give him his flowers in that perspective. But so now we'll end things with our top five, bottom five, with how the games have been going today. All the games.
You base it off division or the actual league?
Everybody. So yeah,
Okay.
like the whole NFL. All the games have come to a close. Lions won 37-24. Commanders won 27-10. So now the only game that's left is just the Sunday night game, the Patriots and Bills, and then Monday night Chiefs Jaguars. So I will let you start off with our bottom five since you are the guest of honor. Five, in my opinion, I like doing it where five is the absolute worst, and then you go up to one, which is like, not as bad. So five, you start off number five as the worst of the worst. But it's up to you. Chris likes doing it the opposite way.
Okay, give me a second. I'll browse into this. So
There's only one team that has an O in the win column still. Everybody else got their wins today.
Yeah. But okay, let's see here. So they played the Steelers, the Bills, the Bucks, the Dolphins, and Dallas. So realistically, they should be probably 2 and 3 in terms of the Jets. But on the flip side, let's see. The only other team that I would base lower is, yeah. It wasn't even close. This team has scored 21 points one time in the last five weeks. Let's see here. Based off of production, I'm just gonna put the Saints below the Jets, even though their record is better than the Jets.
Wow. Okay.
Because I see from what is going on, like when Fields is actually healthy and he's playing the game over there for them, like he does take a lot of. I mean, he did the same thing when he was at the Bears. He did a lot of stuff on his own in order for them to win games, and a lot of people question his ability to quarterback, or he's more of a running back, this, that, and the other. But I would say Saints, Jets. I'm just gonna say Dolphins. And then, so we got Saints, Jets, Dolphins. I have to do it. Sorry, Chris. Raiders. And I don't want to say it, but I will. I'm gonna say the Ravens.
Oh no!
The Ravens.
Oh.
Based on today's performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ravens were able to only score 10 points with a backup system. Yes, they're insanely banged up, but you got another opponent in your division So, like Bengals, for an example, who's still able to score 20 points against, we'll say the Lions today. It could have just been free points or whatever, but you can't score more than 10 points against an opponent that is equally as bad as you. I feel like there's an issue there. I mean, the Texans have been in a question for bubble for a while now, so yeah, that's my 5. I only throw the Ravens in there because of production today and how hurt the team is. Do I think without Lamar for the next 4 weeks, could they make playoffs? Probably not. You're probably going to have a team from maybe the AFC South instead of a bonus team in the North, or 2 in the West make it in. Because I feel like the Bills are going to take their division. The AFC West is going to become the AFC North this year, I feel like, based off of these teams. And it's just the Chargers just cannot fall into this pit that they're in for the last 2 weeks and continue to do so. If not, then I can see maybe Jags squeaking into the AFC South for the playoff spots. So that's why I threw Ravens in there, because I don't foresee them making the playoffs.
Nice. All right, I love it. So my bottom 5 will be a little different. I am going to put the Jets at number 5. They're the worst of the worst. They don't have a win. I can't justify putting them any higher. So Jets, you don't have a win. Sorry, you're number 5. Right above you though is the Saints. So I agree with you on that. I just flipped them. Yes, the Saints got a win today, but it was against the Giants, who are 1-4 as well. So not very impressed with it. Number 3, I got to put the Raiders again. Sorry, Chris. But they just got spanked today, and they're just not looking good at 1-4. Yes, they are in a tough division, but still got to win games somehow. Number 4, I'm going to put the Titans. Yes, they got the win over the Cardinals, but it was ugly. Like, those plays should never have happened the way that they happened. I mean, an interception fumbling into a touchdown was insane. And the Cardinals running back dropped the ball before the end zone. So that's 2 plays right there that would have won the Cardinals the game, and they just choked it away. And then number 5, might have to agree with you and put the Ravens there. It's between them and the Browns. Like, the Browns are not looking good either at 1-4, or the Giants, they're not looking good either. But I think I might put the Ravens at 5 as well, just because, like you said, they're all banged up.
I mean,
they got spanked today by a not good Texans team, so.
But here's the thing I could justify between the Browns pick and the Ravens pick. The Browns pick is they've been blown out. They got blown out by a healthy Ravens team and a very good Lions team, right? So they played a very healthy Bengals team, lost by 1 point. They played the Packers, beat them in the fourth quarter by 3, and they were leading most of the game today, and they lost in the last couple minutes. I think one side of their ball is very good right now. They're struggling with a QB identity on who they want as their leader, and their production on offense is probably going to struggle for the remainder of the year. But do I see them as bad as the Baltimore Ravens right now? Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, they definitely have a better defense.
You're talking about a couple weeks ago, Baltimore being, before the injuries, a top 3 team in the NFL, potentially.
Yeah.
Because of how their production was going, who they have on the team, and you're just missing all these pieces to your chess game here, and they're borderline checkmate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's get into the last, which is the top 5. So the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Starting off with this will definitely be opposite, where number 5 is the 5th best, and then number 1 is the best of the best. So I'll start us off, and we'll switch off this time. So at number 5, man, there's a lot of 4-1 teams that you could put in there. I kind of struggle with this. Um, I'm gonna put the Colts in at number 5. They turned the game around and won today, big time. Yeah, they were playing the Raiders, but they still made a statement of like, okay, we can bounce back. They weren't gonna let the loss to the Rams like affect them. I can't put the Rams in anymore at top 5 until they start winning some more games again. With them losing against a banged up 49ers team. I could justify putting the 49ers maybe in there as well, but again, they're all banged up. I don't know going forward if that's going to last or not. So number
Mm-hmm.
5, I'm going to put the Colts. Um, Number 4, I'm going to put the Lions. They're looking really good. Yeah, they had that one loss to the Packers at the beginning of the season, but ever since then, they've just been tearing everybody up. It's been crazy. So the Lions are on a roll. They've found their identity after losing like all the coaches that they have lost so far. Um, number number 3. Um, well, changed my mind. Sorry. So number 5, I'm gonna put the Colts. Number 4, I'm gonna put the Bucks because they're still looking good, top of their division. Number 3, I'm gonna put the Lions. I think they should be higher up. And then number 2, I'll put the Eagles. Yes, they lost today, but they're still 4-1. And then number 1, I gotta put the Bills because they're undefeated. Yes, they haven't played the Patriots yet tonight, but they should win that game easily. So I'm going to put the Bills as the top team right now. So yeah, so Colts, um, Colts, Tampa, Lions, Eagles, Bills.
Okay. I respect that. I feel like I'm also gonna put the Colts in at 5, even though I feel like they could be potentially 3. If they had managed to beat the Rams previous week, I would have said that they're probably up there. Do I think do they have a chance to do a deeper run in the playoffs? Of course. Do I feel like they're beyond the honeymoon stage compared to some other teams? Definitely. I feel like their resolve is very good right now as a team. I feel like they, like Arizona today, where they had a player drop the ball that cost them their game. They have stuff like that that's going on that, championship caliber teams are not doing, we'll say. So I'll put them at 5. I think I'm going to put... I don't want to say this because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of backlash, but respectfully, based on how the games have gone and production of other teams, I'm going to put Philly at 4.
Ooh, hot take!
And I'm only putting Philly at 4 because I haven't been bought in like I have with other teams in terms of do they have what it takes. I felt like this year, they're a team that starts slow, and I think they look worse this year than they do last year. Saquon has not stepped into his role yet as the player he was last year. Hurts is having an issue getting the ball to his receivers. They were getting blown out by the Rams the previous week and got a break from their special teams, saving them the game. That doesn't happen every game. That's like the equivalency of the Titans game, where he threw a pick and then the guy fumbled the ball and then it ended up in the end zone and then they got a touchdown. It's like it's stuff like that is based off of like luck at the obviously it's a sport, things happen, but I feel like Eagles are not a true contender like they were last year in my opinion. I feel like I have to see them do more than what they've been doing for me to believe that. So that's why I placed them at 4.
Alrighty.
So I got Colts, Eagles. I'm going to say Bucks, based off of resolve for the team, how well they're playing. They are pretty healthy minus Evans being banged up and maybe a couple other players. So that I'm going to put them at 3. Then I'll put Lions and I'll do the Bills. Now, I am still weary about the Bills being number 1 because of how their game against the Dolphins, yes, it's a divisional opponent, but they got very lucky as well with the whole getting a flag for roughing kicker when they were kicking it away. They had a very slow second half. Their offense can't be slow because, in previous years, Josh Allen has done 2 turnovers and the last 30 touchdowns or something, which is really good for your star QB and or your offense. The problem is when they come into a stagnant pace and they can't get anything going is the problem, because I don't think their defense is good enough to bail them out. We'll say Philly's defense for an example, or we'll use Denver. Those defenses are, I would say, top 3 in my opinion. Then they'll create opportunity when given. Do I believe the Bills is even at a top 5 defense? I also don't know. I haven't been bought into the Bills defense for a while. Even in last year games, when Josh had games where he was turning the ball over, the defense wasn't able to make plays back, and they ended up losing the game. So it's going to take another testament, like I was telling you. They'll have to play KC and maybe the Bucks later on. I know they play the Eagles near the end of the season. And then, of course, the Steelers. I think the Steelers could give them a problem. I think Steelers are a bubble team as well in terms of, top 7. But there's a lot of these teams this year that are very interesting, that's for sure.
Right, and we'll probably get more of a solid, what it's going to look like when we get to, week, 12 and 13, to be able to be oh, yeah, this team is, a force to reckon with. Because right now, upsets still happen and things are still been crazy. So, yeah, we'll know more when it gets further down. All right. I love the hot take, though, putting the Eagles down lower. I like it.
Yeah. I think right now what we can see based off of the 5 weeks of play is we can kind of see what teams are kind of going to take the division or what divisions are going to have potential wild cards because of how close they are. Because for instance, the AFC West, you have potentially 3 candidates right there for the playoffs. It's just going to come down to how the Chargers play the rest of the season. I think the Denver's going to continue to do well. I think Kansas City's going to awaken as a team. I feel like they're in this little rut right now where they're having an issue finding out what's driving them, I guess, and or what can we do to adapt to the situation that we're having in our receiving core. Is my thing.
Yeah, I think they should definitely try to pick up somebody before the trade deadline. I've said that for years now, and then they prove me wrong, and they go and win the Super Bowl. But obviously not last year. not last year. They didn't do it last year, but I do still think they need a solid number 1. There's teams you can be okay, Bengals, it's Chase. Rams, it's Puka. Eagles, it's AJ Brown.
Ever since they lost,
ever
since they lost Hill, they've had an issue finding a number 1.
Exactly.
It's kind of the way the Bills are sitting right now. The Bills have a lot of tools, but there's no real number 1 person. You would think
exactly. Yeah.
Coleman would be the number 1, but he's not. Just like you would think Worthy would be the number one, which when he's healthy and things are going well, he does look like he's a number one. But I wouldn't say he's the number one receiver of that team. You'd probably say Travis Kelce is before anybody else because of just who he is for the team and what he's done for the team. Than most of the receivers that are there now.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, all right, awesome. Well, that is our top 5, bottom 5. As always, if you guys have different picks, let us know. Comment on TikTok, comment on YouTube Shorts or YouTube, and we will give you guys a shout out, and we'll read your guys' top. We may not agree with you, but we'll read it and discuss it. That's the whole point, you know. We like to debate and see what's going on. Robbie, as we shout out, had some crazy hot take that ended up being right, you know, with the Giants beating the Chargers last week. So, you know, just let us know. As always, like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok and on YouTube. Spotify is where you can listen to it. If you don't want to look at our pretty faces, then you can just, you know, listen to our lovely voices on Spotify. We get a lot of views, but we're not getting a lot of likes. You know, we need more likes. We need more subscribes. And shout out to John for stepping in for Chris since he had family that was in town, so he couldn't do it.
It was fun.
Go check out his page.
Not so much the baseball part. But
go once the baseball playoffs are over, then it'll be all football, and then you'll be good to go. And then so go check out his page at Memes Frags. Give him likes and subscribes if you like video games. Go check out him when he streams live. You know, maybe we'll start doing some live stuff. Usually we just record it and then send it out, but maybe we'll start doing some live stuff to maybe see if we can get some more viewership. As always, we'll do the hashtag Sports Anarchy. Hashtag, I think we did All Anarchy, I think is what was one of them was, that I really like, so we'll continue doing that. But yeah, until next time, we'll catch you guys next week.
all right.
Peace.
See you, man. Thanks for having me.